the pandemic, the global economic structure changed, but it also affected in a significant way the cost of living. Food in particular became more expensive, and in Jamaica that was the case.
Reality check, man, from your device, you know it's a unique one, aromatic, realistic TV. Anyway, today, my viewers and subscribers, you see when me make my case for the people of Jamaica in the next general election to vote out Andrew Holness. Me make my case for the people of Jamaica have a clear understanding to walk in at the polling station and put them X beside the head to get rid of Andrew Holness. You understand what I'm saying? Andrew Holness is a high school, heartless, vicious brother. Andrew Holness get over 30 billion for the Beryl victim or the Beryl relief fund. Until this date, people are still living without electricity. People still not have running water. People still not have food to eat. People still without a shelter over them head. And Andrew Holness get aid from all over the world. Value up to 30 billion. But I have this clip that I want to present to you. I want to know if you listen to that clip keenly. Because these are Andrew Holness words. And we're going to hold him to him words and hold him accountable. He was at Demby, the agriculture show, just recently. And he was saying, after the pandemic, the global economy structure change. He was stated, after the pandemic, the global economy structure change. And he stated, but it also affected in a significant way the cost of living. That's what he says. He stated, food in particular becomes more expensive. And in Jamaica, that was the case. That was the case. Food in particular become more expensive, and in Jamaica that was the case. So if you know that food was so expensive and that was the case, why you charge people them 300 and 400,000 in the pandemic? When the teacher them ask for a raise, when the police them, when the nurse them, when the doctor them, when the fireman them, when the immigration them, when the garbage man them, when the porter them ask for a raise, you say no. And you give yourself 300% raise. And then you are telling us now, after the pandemic, the global economic structure has changed. But it also affected in a significant way the cost of living. Food in particular become more expensive, and in Jamaica that was the case. If you know that food come expensive, cost of living high, why you never give the teacher them a raise? Why you never give the police them a raise? Why you never give the nurse and the doctor them a raise? Why you never give the firefighter them a raise? Why you never give the porter them a raise? Why you never give the garbage man them a raise? Why you never give public servant a raise? But instead you go into parliament and you give yourself 300%. So only uno alone supposed to live. after the man a come tell we say, after the pandemic, the global economy structure change. But it also affected in a significant way the cost of living. Food in particular becomes more expensive. And in Jamaica, that was the case. You want a more ice cold brother than this? You want a more evilous man than this? You want a more heartless man like this? You know that food gone sky high. The global economy structure change. And you refuse to give everybody else in Jamaica a raise. But you give yourself 300%. So when I make my case that the people of Jamaica have to vote out Andrew Holness and vote him out tremendously, no small beating, you have to give the Jamaican Labour Party a big beating. Write them off in the wind. Anyway, Jamaica, I'm going to play the clip. And please, I want you guys to listen what he's saying. Take it away.
After the pandemic, the global economic structure changed, but it also affected in a significant way the cost of living. Food in particular became more expensive. And in Jamaica, that was the case. Immediately after the pandemic, we saw a steep rise in inflation, and that has impacted how particularly poor households are able to survive. If one day you went to the supermarket and your basket of goods was $10,000, and the next week that you go is 12, and the next week that you go is 14, and the next week that you go is 15, you're paying more money and probably getting less goods. When you go home, you vex. You vex. Who you vex with? Eh? Who you cuss? Who for fault? Poor government have nothing to do with it. But obviously, we are the ones you elect to treat with this situation. An external shock, we didn't have anything to do with it. But an external global event occurred, which changed the structure of the economy, which caused prices to rise. It's not just here in Jamaica, everywhere in the world. For those of you who travel, you will see it. And it has made...
Who you are going to blame? The government. But the government no have nothing to do with it. People are making tell you that. Every time in talk to no like you no have nonsense. People, we elect a government to lead our country, to watch over our affairs, to negotiate for us as the third man, to make sure at all times every Jamaican out there live to his or her true potential. It's the responsibility of him to go out there and bring back jobs to the country. And not just call center jobs, but to bring jobs to the country that when people work and get them pay, them can't go buy anything what them feel like to buy. So that a nonsense. It is the responsibility of the government when a crisis hit us like the pandemic. I know for fact he gets 750 million from the World Bank, Inter-American Development Bank, and the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. And what did they do with that money? We, the people of Jamaica, can't go negotiate for that, you know. That's why we have the government, for them to negotiate in times like those when our back is against the wall. But them get the money, and what them do with the money? Them thief it And now him dead so they tell we say and no government fault. So who for fault? After we now lead we self, we elect a government to lead and to take charge of the country. That's what we do. We are not on our own. So anyway, Jamaica, where we going to it now. So this is what he's saying. After the pandemic, the global economic structure has changed. He also stated, but it is also affected in a significant way the cost of living. Things gone sky high. Everything raised, but the minimum wage remain the same. Minimum wage remain the same. Y'all get the same pay, but everything expensive. Bus fare raise, school fee raise, food in a shop raise, your house rent raise, light bill raise, water rate raise, but you still they get the same minimum wage. Or are you going to cope? Or are you going to deal with that situation? He goes on Jamaica and he says food in particular becomes more expensive. And in Jamaica, that was the case. If you know that food become more expensive and in Jamaica that was the case, immediately in the pandemic, brother, they are charging people them 400,000, 700,000 DMRA, Disaster Risk Management Act, for not wearing a mask. For not wearing a mask. That's so heartless and vicious and ice cold and devious that brother is. Food in particular become more expensive, and in Jamaica that was the case. People don't have money to buy food, brother, and you are charging them 300, 400,000 for not wearing a mask, brother. And now you come and say that at the Dembe show. He stated Jamaica immediately after the pandemic, we saw a steep rise in inflation. Immediately after the pandemic, we saw a steep rise in inflation. Everything sky high. But the minimum wage remained the same. And that has impact how poor households are able to survive. And that impact how poor households are able to survive. How poor household go surviving at this. When at the minimum wage end upon and everything gone sky high. Everything around them raise. And the only thing what them a live on is the same 15,000. How it's going to work. Brother, when me make me case and tell you so no have to get rid of that man here. The man know. But when the teacher them ask him for a raise, he say no. The man know the cost of living gone left the pay rate. And when the police them ask him, he say no. The man know, and when the nurse them ask him, he say no. The man know when the firefighter them ask him, he say no. The man know when the porter them ask him, he say no. The man know when the garbage man them ask him, he say no. The man know when the immigration them ask him, the man say no. And give himself 300% raise. So how can you vote for a man like this another time around? He stated Jamaica, if one day you went to the supermarket and your basket of goods was $10,000, he said the next week when you went back and you pay 12 or 13, 14 or 15, up to 20,000, you are paying more and you are getting less. He stated when you go home, you're vexed. And he said, who you're vexed with? The government. Who else they must vex with? They must the government. Who is in charge of Jamaica? Now you and your administration, are you supposed to put things in place to make the Jamaican people life better off? Bring the jobs so them can work. Where is the jobs? Call center. Call center. You get 30 odd billion. You get 30 odd billion for the people them who get damaged by Beryl. And all now the people them can't see nothing out of that. But you give yourself 300% raise. You didn't give the teacher them nothing when them ask you for a better package. You did not. And you have the heart. They go stand up at the Dembe show now. Feel look big and feel good. Like me now go and use your words, brother, back against you. And your words me I use back against your brother. Food in particular becomes more expensive, and in Jamaica that was the case. So if you know say food come more expensive and in Jamaica that was the case, then why you didn't give the teacher them a raise? Why? If you know that from after the pandemic, the global economy structure change, then you know say the Jamaican people them a struggle. Them a struggle immediately after the pandemic. We saw a steep rise in inflation, and that has impacted how poor households are able to live. You know all of them things there, bro. Say the Jamaican people back are against the wall. That you know that they are behind the 8 balls. From the pandemic, some of the Jamaican people them not get back on track it. And on top of that, Beryl come and eat them. And you get over 30 billion to give to the people of Jamaica, and you wall and penny want use if you run election to buy the people. And people out there now still not have electricity. People still not have water. People still not have food to eat. People still not have a roof over their head. People not have a bed to sleep on. And you have 30 billion sit down penny want use it to buy the people them like a slave. Think about that, my viewers and subscribers. Think about that, Jamaica. So when Aromatic making content them, and when I make my case against this government, and the reason why the people of Jamaica should reject Andrew Holness the next time around and his administration is things like these, when he knew that the Jamaican people back are against the wall. He knew the Jamaican people are suffering, else he would not come out and make a speech like this. After the pandemic, the global economic structure has changed, but it also affected in a significant way the cost of living. Food in particular becomes more expensive, and in Jamaica that was the case. Immediately after the pandemic, we saw a steep rise in inflation, and you know that has impact how poor households are able to survive. If one day you went to the supermarket and your basket of goods was $10,000, the next week you went back to the supermarket, it may be 12, 13, 14, or 15. It could even be 20. It stated you are paying more money and probably getting less good. He said when you go home, you vex. Who you vex with? The people them in the crowd, stated the government. And in laugh and feel say in get over the people them head, because to him they know in the talk to a bunch of dum-dum in the crowd. Because when him asks them, who are you going to blame? Then say the government. Then who else is supposed to blame? Who Who else you supposed to blame? The one with the sarcastic self, the laugh and the talk. Who is it gonna be? The government? The government have nothing to do with that. Bro, you're full of shit like a crab, man. You are so fake. Trick-yard, trickster, bandit. That's what you are, bro. That's what you are. So the people of Jamaica, you have a choice. The next time when you walk into that polling station, you walk into that polling station with vengeance in our heart. Walk into that polling station with vengeance in our heart for what this heartless pig has done to you guys over the past 8 years. Anyway, my viewers and subscribers, stay tuned to Aromatic Realistic TV. Like and share and follow us over YouTube. You don't know what to do, man. You just like and share the video them. You see that video, yeah? I want to know if you just share it out. So everybody can see that video, yeah? And catch that brother, yeah? In a garbage. Catch that brother, yeah? In a him lies. They come go on like him slick. Feel we not go and use him word and hold him accountable. At that aromatic though. Use your word and hold you accountable. Anyway, my people, stay tuned. A God and good road. And I continue to tell them that the signature word, art of love. Art of love. Right there, son. Out.